I'm going to talk to you today about barriers to using technology in our schools today. First, I did a summary of the articles as they apply to me. Being a part of a one-to-one district, I understand the movement towards technology, but I also understand the pains of keeping up with the technology. Some of the themes that I saw throughout all the articles were that things don't always work. Best laid plans, you've planned this awesome lesson, and either the Apple TV, the internet, or something else doesn't work with the lesson. Some teachers are stuck in their ways. Even though they have the devices, they choose not to use them or implement them in their classroom. Lack of resources and funding, and keeping up with the technology. And sometimes those work hand in hand. Keeping up with updating the devices themselves, as well as the software applications and those kinds of things in order to keep using them. Can the digital divide be resolved? I think perhaps it's a long and winding road. And once again, just like the themes of the articles, it depends on funding, resources, technology advances, how fast they happen, how fast we can get updates and fund them. All of that kind of rolled into how we move forward with technology. What skill sets do 21st century students need before they graduate? Problem solving, collaboration, logical thinking, communication, creativity. I think all of these roll into just being productive citizens in a digital society. They need to be able to critically think and problem solve, to think through problems, situations, those kind of thing. And then they also need to be able to communicate and collaborate with others to make their ideas heard, as well as listening to others to make sure we are getting the best result possible for any situation or problem that we're working on. What impact has the global economy had on my personal use of the internet? Again, I work in a one-to-one district. Elementary students have iPads, and middle and high school students have MacBooks. Teaching and technology are constantly changing. It seems like on some things, just when you think you have something mastered, an update comes out and sends you for a loop. One thing that comes up with teachers is who buys. The district has purchased some software and applications, but as a teacher, if I find a resource that I need, especially one for special education students, what qualifications does it have to have for the district to buy it? Or do I just decide this will be useful to me and my students, and so I just purchase it? And then I also have an iPhone, which I don't use much of its capacity, although I use more than when I first got one. Some training that I might need to effectively integrate technology in my position. I'd just like to know more about the capacity of my devices, what I can do with them. I know a lot of teachers use a lot of different things, and I'd just like to know more of what other teachers have found to see if they would be beneficial to me. And then more training on our IEP program. This year we started a new computer-based IEP program, and I would just like to know more about that and understand it better so that I can help the secondary teachers in implementing that and creating new IEPs. And then just, as I said earlier, I'd like more knowledge about available apps and what they do. Is my school equipped for the 21st century? I think we're on the road. We're a one-to-one district. The district has purchased software and apps, and they're also working on updating those. And then I know there's a push to upgrade the Wi-Fi. advantages, I think the biggest one is getting our kids ready to be productive citizens in a digital society. They need to be able to think critically and collaborate, as I said before. I think technology also helps with communication skills. A lot of the programs that we use, teachers send information back and forth to their classes or even individual students. A student may turn in an assignment, a teacher makes comments and sends it back. So they have to be able to think through what they're saying before they send it. And then I think also technology makes learning more interesting for students. I think they're more engaged and involved when they can search for things and figure things out for themselves. Barriers. I think the expensive implementation would hold a lot of school districts back. The learning curve for teachers, or lack thereof, is frustrating in many cases. And then losing time when things don't work. Just the Apple TV might be out, the Wi-Fi might be out, or the program just doesn't work how it did at home. And then you also have the increased risk of cyberbullying. Have I experienced problems with that? I think the most prevalent problem I've experienced, as well as I've heard other teachers, when each student has a device and you're using it with 30 kids in class, you can't always keep track of what they're doing on their device. So they may be listening to music, playing games, and not completely engaged in your lesson. And then there's also the worry that the increased cyberbullying. It already exists, but when students have a device right at their hands, it may increase that. We just need to keep in mind that we need to have students ready when they graduate to be productive citizens in our society today. And it's a digital world, so we need to make sure that they are prepared to participate in that. Thank you.